Welcome to today's episode of Theories or Arrangement of Music. If this is your first time, kindly go back and watch the videos I've done earlier so you can catch up with today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are looking at time signature. Remember earlier that in this lesson that I've said I'm not going to bore you with the theoretical, the definitions. We are going practical. Now, time signature, all of us, you have wristwatch or wall clock in your homes. And inside the wall clock or wristwatch, there are three fingers. One for seconds, one for minutes, and one for the hour. So their position helps you to tell what time it is. Ditto in music, time signature is what determines the rhythm or the flow of the music, the beat, or you call it the rhythm. So that's just a layman's term of how to define or discuss time signature. And this is where most students find it difficult, when they are in the course of learning how to sight read and sight sing. So time signature is identified by two figures, two numerical figures. It can be any number. And before now, you can see something like this. You can also see something like this. I'll be coming to this later on. But in most cases, what you are going to see in time signature is one figure above. Don't make the mistake of doing like mathematics, numerator and denominator. Like this is wrong. This is right. You don't say 2 over 4, you say 2 4 for instance. Good. So how does it work? And let me quickly say this. When you draw your staff, your time signature comes immediately after your key signature. But we're going to be looking at key signature later on. So, and how do you write it? We have 5 lines and 4 spaces on the staff. So the figure above will start from the 5th line up to the middle line, and the second figure, which is below, will start the drawing from the 3rd line down to the 1st line. So that's how it works. But note that on the staff, the order is the first is the clef, followed by the key signature, for example, and then the time signature. But we are considering time signature. I've said earlier on that it is represented by two figures. Now, I'm going to use X and Y, for example. XY. If XY is our time signature. Now, the number above, they tell us different things. The figure above tells us how many beats should be in a bar or a measure. In our last lesson, we talked about bar lines and bars and measures. So the figure above tells us that what number of notes or the value of notes that should be in each bar or each measure. For example, if it is 3, if it is 2, that means in each bar, this is staff, for example. So this is a bar, this is a bar, this is a bar. So it is telling us that each bar has to have 3 notes. If you sum up all the notes in this bar, for example, look at what we have here now. Each bar has 3 beats. If you sum up all the values of the notes in this bar, they are all equal to 3. That is what the figure above tells you when it comes to time signature. So whatever, if it is 6, that means in each bar there must be 6 beats or 6 notes. If it is 7, whatever number you have there. So that's by the way. Then the figure below, we can have 3. Like I've said earlier, I will not bore you with the theories. We have simple, duple, compound time signature, simple time signature, and all of that. You can read those up. I'm just going to the practical aspects. Now, the figure below, the most common one we have 3. It can either be 2, 4, or 8. Sorry. We can either have 2, 4, or 8. And when it is 4, it is meaning. When it is 4, it is crotchet. When it is 8, it is a quaver. Good. So the number below tells us two things. Number one, what type of note is used in writing the music? The person who composed the song might choose any of the notes to write his own music. So it tells us what type of note is chosen by the composer or the writer of the song to write this piece of music. That's one. Number two, it's that note that the author chooses is the note that will take one beat. Before you are familiar with notes and their values, our crotchet is 1 beat, our minim is 2 beat, our quaver is half beat. You are familiar with all of those ones. But when it comes to time signature, the figure below tells us, number one, what type of note is used in writing the music. Number two, that note that is chosen, which can be either of these three, tells us which note takes 1 beat. Now let's go for an instance. If you see something like this, 3, 2, as a time signature in a piece of music. Let me draw a star here. Three, 2 as our time signature. 3, 2 as our time signature. The 3 above is telling you that in each bar there must be 3 beats. Very good. Number 2 is telling us that this music is written, which of this stands for 2 beats? Meaning, that means the author has chosen to write his own music with this type of notes, which is meaning, because this meaning stands for 2 when it comes to time signature. Now, that means in this song, it is meaning that takes 1 beat. Ordinary meaning is 2 beats, but because of the time signature chosen by the author or composer of this song, in this particular song, time signature 3-2, meaning takes 1 beat. Let me go back to it again. Don't be confused. Let me take our mind back to the notes we have. We have so this is 4, 2, 1, half, 1/4. These are the notes, kind of notes we have, and these are their values. But if the author or the writer of a music chooses any of these notes to write his piece of music, any note he chooses, that is the note that will stand for 1 beat in that piece of music. Now this is meaning. Ordinarily the value is 2, but that's if because okay, don't let me go there. If the author chooses to use this notes to write his piece of music, you are going to have something like this: 4, 2, 2, 2, telling you that the author or the writer chooses to use this note to write his music. Under this type of song, it is this note that you count as 1 beat. And if this one is taken, now becomes 1, this one becomes half, this one becomes 1/4, this one becomes 1/8, this one becomes 2, because the author chooses to write his notes, his music, with this type of note. So whichever of this note that the author chooses to write his piece of music, you count it as 1 beat in that song. Is that taken? I hope it's very clear. So that's how time signature works. Now let's look at the practical example. Now take a look at this music. Now, what's the time signature for this song? We have 4/2. What does 4/2 mean? 4, remember, I said the number above tells us how many beats should be in each bar. That's clear. The number below tells us, number 1, the type of note the author has chosen to write his piece of music, and that note takes 1 beat. So in this type of music, which note is taking 1 beat? Because of this number, this is the type of note that takes 1 beat. And if this note takes 1 beat, under this type of music, this one will take half. This one that was 4 beat ordinarily before will take 2. And this one that was half ordinarily before will now become 1/4 under this type of music because of the time signature. Let's take another example. Look at 6/8 time signature. 6/8 means 6 quiver beats in a bar. That means the author has chosen to write his notes with quiver. This is quiver. That means under this song, it is quiver that is taking 1 beat. You count quiver as 1 beat. Quiver as 1 beat. And if quiver is taking 1 beat, then the crotchet will take 2 beats. The meaning will take 4 beats. Then the semi-breve will take 8 beats. Can you see how the note chosen by the author or the writer determines the value of the note in this song? You can see how in this one we have 4/2. You see meaning here is 1 beat, but meaning here is 4 beats because of the time signature. So that's how time signature works. Before we end the class, let's take the last example. Remember I said the time signature can appear mostly in 3 forms, especially for the number below. It can either be 2, 4, or 8. We have considered 2, we have considered 8. Let's now consider 4. 2 is for meaning, 4 is for crotchet, and 8 is for quiver. Good. So if you see any time signature with 4 as a numerator or denominator, let's say 3/4. What's the meaning of this? 3/4 means 3 crotchet beats in a bar because 4 stands for crotchet. 3 crotchet beats in a bar. That's remember, this 3 above tells us that in each measure, in each bar, there must be 3 beats. If you sum up the value of the notes. Now, the 4 below is telling us that in this music, the music is written in crotchets. Crotchet note. That means under this music, crotchet is taking 1 beat. If crotchet is taking 1 beat, meaning will take 2, semi-breve will take 4, quiver will take half as usual. That's why we call this one common time. Anything with 4, we call it common time. It goes along with our notes and their values. So these are just the 2 exemptions, this that has 8 and the one that has 2. I hope it is clear. Very good. So this will bring us to the end of this class. At the end of the total class, we're going to start applying how this works when we are sight reading and sight singing. I hope that is clear. If you have any question, kindly drop it in the comment section, and we would like to see you in the next class. Thank you.
It's so easy to forget the victories of the past and focus on the trials of the moment.